Alright, welcome to another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithm, and this is going to be another match between msrm here in the red Infernal and Don ILYA in the blue Celestial. And like our previous match, this match was played out during the Alpha Navigators Cup on patch 0.02, very early access patch. Um, and this is game two in the series. In the last game, we had a very epic game that went 45 minutes that ultimately was taken by msrm after mining out Isle of Dread. And now we're on Lost Hope, and we see msrm's Hexen has scouted across the map to find his opponent, Don ILYA. Now, again, on this map, Lost Hope, you're either going to have a vertical spawn or a cross spawn. I think it's pretty standard to scout vertical first, and then just assume if you don't find your opponent where they are. The Hexen you want, of course, to come back and get some fiends going with your creeping and your Skull of Shed up. And that's what we see happening here. So a fairly standard opening out of msrm, at least on this patch. Creeping with brutes with probably, yes, 2 vaults back home. And taking care of this health camp, getting 4 fiends out of the health camp. That is, well, actually, I was thinking it was 4 out of the camp. No, that's one of those is a split brute. So we've got 4 fiends now coming in on these Shadow Mastiffs, pulling them back away to avoid that area of effect damage. And again, some good micro to avoid that damage. And taking out the speed camp as well. So some good aggressive creeping out of msrm to start the game. This map, of course, is a dream to creep if you have that early map control, because there are just so many different camps. And now we have these fiends coming around, basically trying to check out, hey, has Don ILYA taken a second base? It's very standard to take this one in the back because of the Ethereum, and it's a little more defensible. But no, the fiends get into the main and see that neither of those outside bases were taken. Of course, Don ILYA has taken this pocket base in the back. And trying to get some damage on some of these buildings, maybe trying to knock one of them down. Of course, Don ILYA is famous for his SimCity, and again, that strike node right in the middle there, managing to push them back. These fiends rather do find the pocket base here and are just trying to, do enough damage to force it to lift off. Of course, you don't have to lift off until the very last second if you don't want to. And meanwhile, msrm is still out creeping on Don ILYA's side of the map, which, if you have that map control, that's a good place to start with your additional creeping. Now we've got some Kree coming in finally to say, hey, buzz off. Stop annoying us. Oh, and this fiend's running around the back saying, I'm just going to win the micro battle. Of course, yeah, we still had over quarter health there, so it was a while before those fiends were going to do any damage. And now we've got this Therium camp, or sorry, this is a Luminite camp taken out. And now going for the health camp, which may be a little dangerous depending on how much that Don ILYA can put out onto the map. And these 5 fiends are saying, hey, I know you have a low collection array over here, although these celestial buildings do heal, so it's almost up to, 300 hit points, though these fiends get back in and their DPS is nice and fast with the number that we had on. Luckily, though, Don ILYA has these Kree, which just are very good against the fiends, doing bonus damage to light, which fiends are. And we see the creeping on this side of the map for msrm has basically finished. He's creeped all of the initial camps that would be allocated to Don ILYA. And he's off to this Therium camp now. Don ILYA trying to at least get some of the passive bonuses from these camps. Well, I thought he was going to try and capture that health camp. It looks like he was mostly just saying, is that army of msrm camping in that health camp, which is a great way to push and contain your opponent. And with noticing that he was not out there and maybe noticing that this camp was taken, he knows where the army of msrm is, and hoping to get on top of those fiends in the back and getting a good If they get that good area of effect when they come out of their ball, you can really just splatter some of those fiends. Now, taking the Therium camp to get the bonus Therium income, and more fiends trying to run by and finish this. I think this is a this array is definitely in the crosshairs of MSRM, and down to 58 hit points. That node in the back probably going to be upgraded. Sovereign's Watch, of course, being used, and a creation chamber being summoned in so that he can reinforce there quickly if he needs to. Kree standing bay out front, mostly Kree as coming out here. More fiends coming for a run by. Well, again, we're just creeping the camp out here for MSRM. And, oh, these fiends, only get one. And these two are going to get in. Now, are any of these nodes upgraded yet? Ah, there's a perfect wall off. And we now have a blast node. This collection array is now perfectly nestled behind a protective wall. Again, ILYA, very well known for this type of Sim City. That makes it very hard to tack into his bases. So, making good use of that right now. And an incredible creeping advantage coming out from MSRM. The amount of income that he's been able to generate over ILYA because of that creeping is incredible. Not to mention the passive bonuses. Although now ILYA is just finally trying to get some of these passive bonuses for himself, while these fiends are trying to retake that Therium tower, while they're now going to be taking the second Therium tower up here, while circling right back to their health camp, which is now ready to be taken again as well. All of this has meant what for us back home? We've got a Hell Forge, we've got a Ritual Chamber for our upgrades. We were up to a Greater Shrine, but not up to Tier 3 yet. Do we have a Twilight Spire yet? No, it does not look like it. So we are still just content, it looks like, to use a lot of that income, translate it into an army. We have a lot of units on the map, and yeah, again, quite a big army. In terms of supply, MSRM is up by about 100, a little over 100 right now, and now we have some Kree moving across the map. It looks like trying to get a little map control, but also trying to capture some of these towers. We've got a nice little sort of strike army here from SRM. Those big Magmadons make it so that you really don't want to engage with it. A couple of Gaunts, which I imagine, do they have their Plague Axes and speed? Yes, so they are fully upgraded, meaning that they are doing the infest damage. The Krees kind of want to get on top of them to get that, and as you can see, this is why you don't want to engage with the Magmadons, is because they do that incredible stun damage and can lock down your Kree. Now we got Fiends on top of Kree, which is not usually the counter to Kree, but these Fiends, there's a lot of them and they're moving very fast. There's two blast nodes there. Nice micro, one of those Fiends was microed away. Trying to do a little bit of Fiend micro against these blast nodes, but the blast nodes are just really damaging, in fact quite devastating to the Infernal army. We got Mags in there trying to stomp on the Kree, and we've got Size on top here trying to do the damage. Take out those Gaunts if they can, and then they will have free reign on these other units just cannot shoot up. And it looks like this army has been able to at least push through that SimCity, destroy the collection array and the blast nodes that were there. And apparently MSRM is content to just retreat back to what looks like the safety of these reinforcing Gaunts. And again, these reinforcing Gaunts with their Reaper's Rush and with that active boost from the speed camp, we're able to rush over here really quickly and get on top of those Size. MSRM's deciding, let's just move right up into the main base here. Here we have our Star Forges. You can see this is where the Size are being produced. So this is actually a valuable target for MSRM to focus down, while these Size are just hoping, and we see that ILYA has left the game, and that's another victory for MSRM. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in that next video for some more Stormgate content.